Hey guys, welcome back to Chaos Core Tech. My name's Garrett, and today we are going to be creating the Fire Ranger from PUBG Mobile. This video is actually sponsored by PUBG Mobile, but we'll talk more about the game later in the video. Check out the links in the description below. But for right now, they wanted us to create the Fire Ranger, 3D print it and paint it, and show it off to you guys. And since that's pretty much what we do on the channel anyway, I thought it was a perfect fit. So let's get started. And it really kind of highlights the difference between 3D models created for use in a video game or movie versus creating them for 3D printing. Because when you're doing them for a video game or movie, you have all sorts of extra maps. Like the most obvious one is the texture map, where it gets all of its color data and stuff like that. But there are normal maps, which is like height data and the way that the light reflects off of them. There's roughness maps that kind of show glossiness and metallic points and stuff like that. So there's a lot that goes into 3D models that can't really be translated directly to 3D printing, and not to mention the fact that video games and movies don't have to have their models be watertight, and when you're 3D printing, you do. And that's honestly the biggest difference and what took the most work to get this model print ready. And I would say that I was only halfway successful in doing that. I did my best with the time we had to get this video out, so unfortunately a lot of that cleanup fell on Chelsea in the post-processing. It was actually really cool to see sort of a production-ready model, because these are obviously professionals that create these models, and then it goes through a whole pipeline of people touching it, and the models come out really polished, and there's a lot of detail in them, and it's very cool to see. And since that detail is there in the model, it translates to the 3D print, which just results in a really nice looking 3D print, especially when printed in resin. So with the model ready, it was time to get printing. And as I mentioned, we had a very limited time to do this. We basically just had about 3 days to get this done. So we had to pick our most reliable resin printers to do this, and we also wanted it decently big. So I split it, I cut the arms off, I cut the torso out from the head and the legs, so there was basically just 5 pieces, and then we sent those off to our various Elegoo printers for printing. We printed the majority of them on the regular Elegoo Mars and the Elegoo Mars Pro, and then we printed the legs on the Elegoo Saturn. Because we knew that we needed this model ready to go, and any failures were going to prove to be quite a big problem. But luckily they did a phenomenal job. Unfortunately, Chelsea, with her infinite skill with finishing these things, was able to fill any of the holes that resulted from that model. So with the model printed, it was time for Chelsea to start finishing it. She used sandpaper and a Dremel to sort of get rid of all the little nubs from the supports and get in some of the smaller details, since this is a very detailed model. And then she went around and filled all the little holes and kind of cleaned up anything that, any artifacts from the printer or anything like that with wood filler. And she used wood filler because she knew that it would be fast setting and it would dry fast, so she could get in there, sand it back down, and get it flush with the model. And I do want to reiterate that a lot of those issues came from me not being able to get the model out correctly. It wasn't anything that the printers did, aside from like the support nubs, but you get that with any sort of resin print, the supports that you need supports for. Then after that, she needed to assemble the model, so she used a fast setting epoxy for that, just because it gives a really tight hold, and we wouldn't have to worry about it popping apart later, because sometimes super glue doesn't quite cut it. After that, she primed it and let it dry, and then she got to work painting it. She used just normal acrylic paints. They were actually Vallejo brand. And if you want to see any of the equipment that we use, that she specifically used for this video, we have a link. It's our Amazon associate link down in the description. We have the paints we used, the Dremel, the printers even, so you can see all of that equipment. As I mentioned at the start of this video was sponsored by PUBG Mobile. This is actually showing off one of the new skins in their free-to-play mobile game. This skin is part of the Royale Pass Season 13, which the theme is Toy Playground. When the player reaches level 50 in the pass, they can choose either the Ice Ranger or the Fire Ranger. Today, the one we're making in this video is the Fire Ranger. Also, when the player reaches level 100 in the pass, they can get some more awesome skins. And this whole thing is centered around the idea of finding your inner hero, which is something that I think we can all get behind. And here is some quick footage showcasing these skins in action. So once again, huge thank you to PUBG Mobile for sponsoring this video. There is a link in the description so you can check out these skins, get the game for yourself. It's free to play, so it's definitely worth checking out. Well, there you have it. That was the Fire Ranger skin from PUBG Mobile. This was actually a really cool experience. One, to be able to see a production-ready model like that. It inspires me to make my own models better. And two, I really like the level of detail that was in there, and being able to create something that looks like that. So I think I'm going to try in the future to really up my game modeling wise and get some more high detail models, because I think that they look really cool when printed out, especially a little bit bigger scale like this one was. Alright, well that's it for me. Let me know what you think of this down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. A huge thank you to PUBG Mobile for sponsoring this video, and until next time, keep creating.